Hello everyone, it's Farket here. And in this video, I'm going to do the last episode of Season 2. I want to do like a recap of what I did. I'm going to change the season back to summer. Winter's just not as visible for showing things. Now this save was made before the full release. I could probably continue, but I don't really want to. This castle was way too much of a commitment. It's going to fly away for a little bit and then come back when the snow is defrosted. Okay, and I don't want it to rain, so I'm going to type in force rain, then 0. That stops it raining. And it's too dark, so cloud shadow enable off. There we go. So this is how far I got before I gave up. A lot of the problems I had with this build was purely because it was so difficult to piece together things. The building system isn't like the forest. It is definitely not like the forest. I don't like talking about the building system because I've recorded so many videos that I've never actually published, about 10, where I start talking about the building system in this game and just go on a 10-minute tangent about the things I don't like about it, because it is just so rigid and not free. It is extremely linear. You cannot do certain things like here. That's the best I could wall that off. I could not go across. In the forest, that's a 2-minute fix, but they wanted to go with this block system like every other game has, so see what I mean? I'm going on a tangent, and if I don't stop myself, I will keep going. I really like what I did here. I like that tower. It took so freaking long to do this bit here. I was eventually going to build towers up here. Have that as like a veranda. I don't know what you call them. I still had a lot to do, but it was just too much work. Building with stones is a lot of work. Do not underestimate it. It has improved. You can now build with 4 stones at a time instead of 3, but it's still a lot of work. Building in this game would definitely be better with more than 1 player. Even Calvin can't keep up. So this is a wall I had, and I used this for Calvin and that to get through. It wasn't very good. This was made before a lot of those new traps were added to the game. Electric fences are a bit meh, because say if that one breaks, then these two will stop working because the line is to here. What made me stop playing Season 2 is I went and did Cave D and I recorded it, and I raged so much in it because the cave is just so bloody huge and it wasn't fun. I didn't enjoy it at all. This was back when enemies were extremely overpowered too. I don't know if that's changed. So I'm going to take you on an adventure with my zipline system. So this one went up to here, and then I went down to Cave B, which is rope gun cave, and it splits off in a few directions here. 4 directions, this one. So this one just goes, if I ever die, I spawn here. So I just jump on here and go back home. I don't have to deal with any of the crap. This one, I think I didn't go far with. I went to here, then went to here, and then went over here, and this is where it stopped. Going back, this one was a newer one that I was making. It didn't go far as well. These zipline towers were too expensive to make. I want to come up with a better system, but they've kind of negated it with the glider and the, what's it called? Jump pad. I don't really like that solution. This one just went to a village that I could raid, and then I could jump back on and head back up. This one went up here. Oh yeah, I see where I was going. I was working on this one. And then I was going to come up to here. This is where I built in my Season 1 playthrough. It's a nice waterfall here. This wasn't too bad of a spot to build. So that's all of them for that way. I never went down this way at all. But this is the one here that went really far. It actually loops around. So it goes up here. What just crumbled then? I heard a crumbling sound. And it went over here. Then up here. And then went up here, and then it went up here, and here, and here. I tried going up there, but it was too vertical. And then I went up here, and then up here. And then I managed to go up here, but now you won't be able to climb this part here. The game doesn't allow it. See? You used to be able to climb this, but now you can't. I don't know why they did it, but they did. So I don't know how you would do this anymore, because it's hard to get logs up here. Really hard. They're really far away. And I went over this mountain here, up here, and then down on this lake, and on this little cabin here. Went to here. There's a camp there that has supplies. There's a little cave in there, but I don't know if I ever really went in there for supplies. Goes down here. This is... But these ones were just down low because I didn't need them high up in the air, and plus it was just getting too tiring making towers all the time. Because the game doesn't have any blueprints you can save. And when it's down here, I just started making rock pillars at this point, even sticks. Just didn't care. That was to stop me falling off the cliff when I came through. And it's just following it down, 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 down. And then it goes out to here, and this is where end game stuff happens. I was going to wrap it completely around. I don't know how far I got though. This is the golf course area. I remember I got to here because I made this little house on the island here. Getting this zipline across was not easy. That's a safe base, but Calvin and that can't get to it. This just wraps around to the boat, and I wanted this one here. This one actually goes over sharks. I don't know if they'll be here exactly at the time. You can't see them in the water unless you got the water transparency off. But yeah, this just goes to where the boats are, so I could raid them as well. Yeah, I think they made the oceans a little too dark. You can't see anything underneath. It'd be cool to see the sharks somewhat, but this zipline system went all the way around the island. It went this way, went up. Towers just look so much cooler, but they just take so long to make. And that went to bunker A. This is a cool spot. Oh, this looks very pretty. And this is where the modern axe is. And yeah, I spent a lot of time making these things. Links back up with the zipline system. But the place I went to the most by far was down here. Links down here. This is camp here. And then it followed along here. Some rope there. Usually stopped at places that had resources, like here. There's a piece of rope, 2 pieces of rope there. So when you're doing the run, you can pick up items along the way. Oh, that's changed. Look, my zipline goes through the wall. Wonder why they did that. Is there anything there? It looks like a decent place to build. It's got no water though. They've still got to sort the water problem out. So yeah, that goes through the cliff there. That is floating in the air. This one goes through the cliff as well. This used to be all beach. Why they put so many cliff faces here? Unless it was to make more building spots, but these building spots are huge. They're way too big. But honestly, building without a pond is just a nightmare. It's not worth it. You need water so much in this game. This goes along here, and this goes up to this camp here. I used to raid up here. It's a good place to raid for rope and tarp. There's a lot of it. And this just goes around the beaches. All the way to the beach spawn location. And then there's cave A. And this goes across the water here. And that was where it head back up there. It would take way too long to take him. I got sick of taking him in the end. So many zip lines. But this wasn't actually the first build location. This is one of the best. The only thing I didn't like about it is this gets quite noisy and you can't hear enemies, but it doesn't freeze over in winter. If you build near a creek or a river with flowing water, it doesn't freeze. So in winter, you're always going to have water unless you build in one of the thermal hot springs. I'll see if I can find one quickly. Here's one here. The map won't hold still. So it's in here. This won't freeze, and there's a lot of sulfite here. Although I do wonder what happens. I should do a video on this stuff. If you mine this and build over it, will it respawn? And if you don't build over it, will it respawn? It shouldn't respawn. It would be stupid if it does, because there's a lot here. But this would be a pretty cool base, because they can only come in from kind of, I'd say here, So you just have to defend here. Only problem is that you want to build your house on top of this mostly, because you will get the heat from it. So you won't be cold as much. It's what I'm going to do in season 3. I'm going to build a snow base, but I'm thinking about building a lot of bases. Not so many big projects. Oh, I'm pretty sure there used to be a tent with a printer here. A lot of lightning up in the snow because of the, what is it called? The solifite. So like here, there's a crap ton of it. Oh, see? Angry rain clouds. Yeah, it's a big problem in the game I've found is that during winter, your water collectors will freeze over in your ponds, so you won't have access to water, which is quite disappointing. Has that always been covered in snow? Why is this covered in snow? I changed this season to summer. I'll change it back just in case. Unless this is a snow? No, it's not a snow area. This is weird. Must be a bug. It's just that one little section there is still covered in snow. Oh, this map is huge, eh? Yeah, it's not meant to be covered in snow. This bit isn't, at least. So when I first started, I wanted to build up here, but this is when the game was just relentless with attacks. I just got attacked non-stop here. It was ridiculous. And I made the mistake of building too far back. What I found is that skinnies were actually able to climb up these mountains some places. They would get up in the base through one of these spots. I don't know if they've fixed it. Put on the nav graph and see if there is a spot where they could get up. Nah, they must have just glitched up. But yeah, how I'd do it, if I was going to do it again, put the wall back in front of this pond and just have this section for building. I started to make a thing so I could bring up logs, but I just got over it. And I had to keep going down here to get water from the river. Down here. I killed so many, and you can see those things down there. And that was my source of food too, so it was just ridiculous. That was back in the days when they just funneled in. It just came non-stop. Yeah, just flying over and realizing how little I touched on the map. Oh no, there was one other line. Makes you realize how unnecessarily big the map is. See, I realized with the zipline system I made in this game, is that I did it to solve a problem. The map was too big. That was the problem. I solved it. But the game added gliders you can carry and a glider launcher. So it's like the game has problems and then the devs try to solve them for you instead of giving you the tools to figure out how to solve them. That's not what the forest was originally about. Devs didn't care. They gave you problems and they gave you the tools to figure out how to fix them. It's a very different game, this one. Yeah, and this one follows down and goes down to, I think, Cave D entrance down there. And then a zipline that goes across here. I had to make this during winter. If you're going to do a zipline system, you do things like this. You're going to have to wait till winter to do certain things like this. I never went down there. And this one went to one of the caves. Not caves, one of the bunkers. If you go into the blades of the helicopter, you will die, by the way. This fly command needs a mod. Yeah, I still have a lot of gripes about the game. I haven't really moved on psychologically from the forest. The building I found in the forest was just far superior than this one. And there's things missing like the boats, so it's a lot harder to play this game compared to the forest. This wasn't frozen over, now it's frozen over. I think me playing with the console commands has messed things up a little bit. So I'm here to say goodbye to this save. This wall was just so, I can't remember what trap they're called. They work pretty well though. These were just for big guys. They worked well when I activated the arting plating structure. I just want to go on a tangent about what I dislike about building in this game, but I just don't think it's worth it because it will just be content I'll just cut out. There are many things I dislike about it. I think it's just purely a downgrade from the forest. It's like, why would you actively make something worse? That's my take on it. But yeah, anyway, if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Cheers.